Pranams to all of you. Namaste and good morning to all the viewers and listeners. I was asked to say a few words about Bhagavatha Hamsam Malliyoor Sankaran Namboothiri, especially for the audience, especially for the viewers, especially for the bhaktas of Mumbai, Delhi, and some other parts of North India. And in fact, the story of Bhagavatha Hamsam, the story of Malliyoor Sankaran Namboothiri is the story of Malliyoor temple also. Both are not different, in fact, because it is the narration, the story of Sankaran Namboothiri is the story or the narration of a poor, simple soul and who tried to live. In fact, he lived to his maximum strength. He lived according to the principles of 𝗕𝗲𝗃 and to overcome, and he could overcome the struggles and agony of life. He could remain happy and calm throughout his life. He was in peaceful mood. So, to be a God-loving person, the most important thing is that, first of all, we should have a positive mental framework. What do you mean by positive mental framework? Because you should see everything, or you see only possibilities, the growth, expansion, and success. You'll give love and get love. More than you get, you try to give. His life is there, his life was there, always full of love. And he was always in gratitude. Gratitude to the nature, gratitude to his relatives, gratitude with everyone. And he was always in calmness and solitude. His mind was always prayerful. To get such a life, I should say that you have to shed all negative qualities or negative emotions of life, like irritation, anger, agitation, tension, fear, anxiety. Once you leave all these emotions, negative emotions, or what to say that soul-carving emotions, naturally your life will be simple and you will have a straightforward and what to say that a calm and salubrious life. Avoid such negative qualities. Allow your mind to accept the things because the nature is ready to give you anything. You stick to your principles. The nature is there just waiting for a chance to give you something. But you are not allowing because of your negative qualities, and the only thing you have to do is that open the windows of your mind. Let the wind from the four quarters of the world rush in, as Swami Vivekananda once said. Let it come out. Let the wind, let the blessings of the nature comes in naturally. So this is the story in simple words. This is the teaching, this is the lesson, this is the message given by Bhagavatha Hamsam Malliyoor Sankaran Namboothiri. And one more thing is that, as I told you in the opening part, that the Malliyoor Sankaran Namboothiri's life is always connected with the growth of this temple also. The Malliyoor Ganesha temple, so as you see today, in fact that is not the temple at all. That was not the temple. Malliyoor temple was in sleep mode for ages. And here, nothing was here to remind us as a place of worship. So I tell you the things that happened about 50, 60 years ago. Nobody knew there was a temple in Malliyoor or in Kurupandara. A Ganesha temple was there. Nobody knew it. Only one thing they knew, that there was a stream, you call it Ganapathy. Ganapathy is there, a small river, a stream just flowing through this area, and this Ganapathy, people did not know why this Ganapathy was called so. There must be a Ganapathy if their Ganapathy is there, but where is the Ganapathy? Ganesha was there hiding in the bushes. And Ganesha was there in this woodland. A small stone hut, you call. See, the whole area was in darkness. The whole area was forest-like, we can say that. So, of course, there was a small temple. Even though nobody was attending it, the Ganesha was there. Ganesha was sleeping. The idol was sleeping. I cannot say Ganesha was sleeping. The idol was sleeping without any devotees, without any attendance. Not even a pujari was there. Priest was not there. Of course, lone pujari, occasionally once in a week or once in 2 weeks, sometimes once in a month, he used to visit here with some flowers and a spoonful full of nivedya. Still Ganapathy waited there. And he must be knowing that one day a sunrise will be there. Here, not only this Ganesha temple, even the whole Malliyoor was there hiding. It was there among the cluster of plants and creepers and trees. In the middle of the woodland, there was a small path, and even in the daylight, people found it very difficult to walk through this area because it was in complete darkness. And you just imagine that from that pathetic situation, from that pathetic condition, the Malliyoor Ganesha temple, the Maha Ganapathy temple, rose to this fame and this. Now this whole scenery is changed. You can see the beautiful Gopuram. You can see this lofty, Dhwajastambha or flag post. The Chuttambalam, the inner ground is also there. And the Sanctum Sanctorum is there. The 𝗕𝗂𝗺𝗲𝗍, the Garbhagriha is there. You can see gold and that grandiose structure everywhere. You see that transformation. You must be thinking that this transformation was there because of certain messages or because of certain incidents. Nothing was there. The whole transformation took place because of a simple man, because of a fragile, a tired-looking, poverty-stricken man who did nothing. Literally speaking, who did nothing. He never bothered about this, struggles in life. He did only one thing. He chanted names, names, names. Only by chanting the name can you do this transformation. You have heard in history that the knights and the kings or prabhus or lords, they strived, they struggled, and they did hard work for the transformation and change in the society. But here we have proved that not these knights and the kings, but poor people, ordinary man, common man with a simple heart, they are doing the revolutions and they are bringing the change. And here Malliyoor did the change with only Nama Japa, chanting Lord's name, Narayana, Narayana, by simply sitting here, by just simply focusing your mind and then chanting Narayana, Narayana. Can you do this transformation? And that is what history says. You can do it here, because for Malliyoor, as I told you, that he was a simple soul. He led a straightforward life, a plain life. He opened the windows of his mind to allow the fresh wind to come in. And for him, bhakti was not a stage program. For him, bhakti was not something like a pomp and show. For him, there was no gimmicks in bhakti, no magic in bhakti, no self-pride in bhakti. As Bhagavatha says, amanitvam adambhitvam kritasya parikirtanam. No gimmicks, no magic, no self-pride. He prayed for the well-being of everyone. As I told you, Nama Japa was his lifeline. Nama Japa changed the course of history. Nama Japa changed his destiny. And now we are forced to believe that these simple souls, the straight men of quality and integrity, can provide the axis of development. Malliyoor Sankaran Namboothiri was the reservoir of good qualities. Here you see, as Srimad Bhagavata says, alam pada shila tharo gunakaro, ह्रष्टपरध्याव्यतितो दुःखिदेषु अभूतशत्रुर्जगदशोकहर्ता 𝗍𝗂𝗃𝗀𝗃. He who is happy in others' happiness, he who is distressed in others' distress, and the person with no enemies, such a soul they will give comfort to this nation. They will bring solace. They will stop all the lamentations. They will stop worries not only of themselves but of the whole world. 𝗍𝗂𝗃𝗀𝗃. He will be like a pleasant moon just after the summer sun. And we call them Mahatma because those Mahatmas will make changes even with their silence. Those people who are diligent, passionate and sincere would surely make Ganesha smiling. You see the temple, you see the idol of Ganesha, after so many years Ganesha started smiling. Prasanna vadanam dhyayed sarva vighnopasantaye. I meditate upon the Prasanna vadana because Ganesha's smile is there. Slowly that smile should like a contagious this thing. That it should inundate in our heart also. We smile and requesting Ganesha also to smile. And a smiling Ganesha can do miracles. That is what the history of Malliyoor tells us. The great Lord, because he is the introducer, he is the innovator, because Ganesha, according to the Ganesha Purana, he is the Lord of universal intelligence, as we call Mahat Tattva. Ganesha is the Lord of intelligence. When we just see Lord Krishna, Unni Krishna sitting on the lap of Ganesha means Unni Krishna will, or Lord Krishna, the little Krishna, Kannaya will be very happy to sit on the lap of Lord Ganesha. When that super intelligence is there, when the mind is above the intelligence, naturally God will come there. So that is the symbolism of Malliyoor Ganesha. Here we can say that. Because the divinity, they can bring forth all auspicious things. Malliyoor Sankaran Namboothiri wanted to rebuild the family temple. He wanted to renovate the old. Perhaps that was the only desire he had. He never bothered about his poverty. But he was thinking about Ganesha temples, renovation. And here the Supreme Lord will interfere and the Supreme Lord will make the things happen if the desire is by an ordinary, simple, straightforward person. Satyam vidhadum nijabhridya bhashidam. God likes nijabhridyas, good servants, open-minded servants, free, frank, simple persons. And the simple devotee asks for something and the Supreme Lord will make it happen. Nijabhrityas, words are always valid, and Malliyoor was a Nijabhritya. So the God realized, the God made it true. And once you become the Nijabhrityas, if you are true to yourself, then our dreams will fly, our words become gold, and our actions bloom into reality. Here, in fact, because the Paramatma, he is the deviser, he is the designer. And he is delivering the goodness if you want it. Our sincerity can attract the divine force. As Bhagavad-gita says, Durgadim tata kachadi. Pardhanaivekhanamutra vinashastasya vidyate. Nahi kalyanakrit kaschid durgadim tata gachadi. Hey Arjun, a visionary engaged in auspicious activities, he does not meet with the destruction either in this world or in other worlds or in that spiritual world. One who does good and he never faces evil. Durgadim nagachati. Krishna promises that my bhakta will never peril. My bhakta will never perish. There is no destruction, my bhakta. Now let us come back to this life story of Malliyoor Sankaran Namboothiri. As you know that, he about 100 years ago, this week we are celebrating the 101st birth anniversary of Malliyoor Sankaran Namboothiri, and he took birth in 1921, means 100 years ago, in Kurupundara, a small village in Kottayam, Kerala. Parameshwaran Namboothiri was his father, Arya Andarjanam was his mother, and his childhood was a long, tiring phase of illness and sufferings. I am not just using this word not for any sort of emotional surcharge. It's a fact. He lived, or he took birth in absolute poverty. Not even a grain of rice was there to eat. That was the condition. Perhaps the new generation, they do not know what is poverty. Refer to some, old writings or dictionaries and find out the meaning what is poverty. It is not lack, it is not insufficiency, it is poverty. Nothing was there to eat. And little Shankara, he took birth in the middle of poverty and misery. He had continuous illness, mainly due to the malnutrition, because in early childhood, you need parents' protection one, you need good food at least. Both were there, denied to him. And whatever misfortunes are there in the life, you know that for a newborn child, everything was there, every calamity was there, present in little Shankara's life also. Illness, poverty, social mistreatment, and above all, denial of education. But yes, we can say that that was the cruelest fact little Shankara had to face. He never got a chance to go to school. Reasons are there many. Of course, we can find so many reasons for a failure, but there is only one reason for success. And here, this is the case of a failure because little Shankara could not go to school. First reason was there, he was not well. Second reason was there, you know that an orthodox family never considered education better than their rituals. And this family was giving more importance to rituals and the education was denied. And one more reason was there, his family could not afford to buy textbooks and even a piece of cloth, a dhoti to wear. Of course, one has to wear a dhoti or a mundu, what we can say, that to go to school. Even that was not there in this case. Here, society neglected him, you can say. And parents were suspicious because the doctors and the Jyotishis, they declared that this little boy was not about to live long. His ayus, his longevity was in doubt. And even astrologers predicted that this boy would not cross his childhood. His lifespan was short. But remember one thing, who was destined to lead a short life, who was declared by the Jyotishis that this person would not live long, he could lead a longer life, completing the Shashti Purti, the Saptati, then the Shatabhishekam and even Navati. That was the case. You call it the grace of Lord. And grace of Lord can just, as I told you, a smiling Ganesha can do miracles. Even though he could not go to school, this boy was there very much interested in reading, and somehow with the help of some local teachers, he could understand the letters, he could read slowly, he started collecting books and started reading, like the life autobiography of Mahatma Gandhi, then the poems and the slokas and the works of Sri Narayana Guru, Sri Shankara's principles, all those books were there, very dear to little Shankara. But one thing you should note, that knowledge is not a substitute for prosperity. Poverty won't be eliminated with knowledge. The Shankara or this Malliyoor was there, as I told you was earlier, he was in utter, but to say that lack of things to eat, food, shelter, nothing was there. And here, how long a person can live like this? One day, little Shankara, he was 19 years old. Just imagine that 19 years means not a small thing. 19 years means an ordinary boy or an ordinary young man could have completed his university degree and waiting for the PG admission by this time. And this man, he could not even go to class 1. What a shameful situation was that. And here, that's why one day he approached, or his mother was also worrying. While serving the simple food, Shankara's mother slowly asked him, Unni, nothing is working out, is not it? Nothing goes right in your way, is not it? Yes, that's a fact. Nothing goes right in my way. Nothing goes right. Everything is there completely toppled by fate or destiny, call any name. So what to do? This 19 years old young man, he was just wondering what to say. Yes, I could earn anything. I could gain anything. I do not know what is this life. Why the great God has given such a wasteful life? Or has he dumped me in this waste basket? He was wondering. Ill health, hardships, desperation, sorrow, dejection, pain, whatever calamities were there, everything was present in his life. That is why I told you right in the beginning that this is the story of a typical person. I am not going to tell you that he was not a human god or an all-Deivam. He never did any miracles. He was not hardworking. He did not have any organization skill. He lived a simple life. So this is really many of the people who always complain that I have no ability, always survival of the fittest, and I am not fit. How can I survive? Survival of the fittest is possible because fitness is given by Him. Fitness is given by the Lord. You don't worry about your condition of your body. Everything's there. Have a straightforward life. And she was still standing there. What to say, in front of the samsara sagara, we can say that, the turbulent ocean of the samsara. That is why his mother asked him, Unni, nothing goes right in your way. Huh? What will you do? Amma, I don't know what to do. I'm totally confused. I think I am powerless. I'm worthless. A chronic patient, an uneducated man who doesn't have any abilities, who does not or who could not go to any university classes, he could not get any education and no question of a gainful employment. I do not know what. Am I a scapegoat of the fate? Am I totally useless? And little Shankara was just thinking, he wanted to answer it, but the conversation fell into silence. Mother was just thinking and thinking and thinking, and finally, in a soft voice, she asked him, why can't you go to Guruvayur? Why don't you go to Guruvayur? I heard that Krishna helps everyone. Have you heard the story of Sudama? Sudama went to Dwaraka and he got whatever wishes he had. He could realize all his aspirations. Why don't you go to Guruvayur once? Little Shankara just looked at his mother's face. Yeah, Guruvayur. But I had never gone to Guruvayur. I do not know the way and no money. His mother took out 1 rupee just like a treasure. During those days, 1 rupee, visibility of 1 rupee was a rare thing. Only very rich people just they can only provide you rupee 1. A little rice they can provide, but 1 rupee. Rupee was so scarce those days. And here she gave this 1 rupee. I only had this one. You just see whether it will be possible to travel up to Guruvayur with this 1 rupee. Shankara did not know. And with that with that 1 rupee, he started traveling. And he walked, as he did not know the way to Guruvayur, he walked through the railway line. And if you go through the railway line, you won't miss the way. Railway line is as good as a Google map. And he walked up to Ankamali. Then with that little money, he traveled some distance in train. Again he walked, and with so many days tired, and finally he reached there. It was in 1940, in the month of November, he reached Guruvayur. First time in his life. Heard, because right from the very beginning, we are so rich, that means we have heard a lot about Guruvayurappan. Even though even though the person who has not visited Guruvayur, they know who is Guruvayurappan, and they have his picture, the ever-smiling picture of Guruvayurappan. This little Shankara reached there in Guruvayur for the first time in his life. He saw Guruvayurappa, the 𝗵𝗲𝗊, Kaivartaka Keshava, Deenabandhu, Vishwa Guru, Guruvayurappan. Guruvayurappan might have asked, just seeing Shankara, he might have asked, okay, Malliyoor, you have come with a lot of bundles and bundles of worries. You had a lot of complaints about me. You were muttering something, you were thinking against me, no? Now tell me, what are your worries? We will settle it out. Poor Malliyoor Sankaran, little Shankara, the young boy was there, just standing there. He could not utter a word. No Krishna, no nothing. I have forgotten all of my worries. I do not know what to do. I am happy now. You don't need anything? No, I am happy because he forgot to ask for the alms. He forgot about his complaints. And he was just standing there. Bhuloka Vaikunthanatha, he was just standing there. What to ask in front of him? Are we not feeling self-pity if you just go there and ask for some little money from a Lord like Guruvayurappa? And there, without just telling any complaints, he was just there as moving on, chanting Narayana, 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 nothing else. And there, he stayed in Guruvayur about 2 months. And one day, while doing his production, he met with an old man. This old man was there, sitting in front of Guruvayurappa on the mandapam, and he was just reading a big, fat book. What was that book? Sri Shankara was there, and our little one, the young boy, he was just standing there looking at Padappa and then glancing at the book also. What is this book? Somebody just standing nearby said that is Bhagavatha. Oh, Bhagavatha, great book. A book of 18,000 slokas. And this person is reading all? Yes, he could read and he could even remember also. And then Shankara was very much impressed. He was just standing there and he asked Padappa Namboothiri, and a master, a guru, a reverend person, and who was an exponent of Bhagavatam, who learned the Vedas, Upanishads and everything. He was a scholar in Sanskrit also. He wrote a book, a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. And he asked this master, his guru, will you please teach me how to read this book? And Padappa just looked at him. Do you want to read this book? Yes. Easily, it is not that easy. Everybody will not get chance. Only selected few will get a chance to read this book. Selected few? Who will select? Who is the selecting authority? Guruvayurappa is the selection authority, and he selects. Only very few people, Janmantare Kratam Punyam, only very few people are there. They get this Bhagavata. Will I get? Surely you get. Because I see the fire, I see the work for venture, I see the thirst for knowledge in your eyes. Like 𝗕𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗀 𝗵𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗀, you will get it. You are selected. That is what I feel. A person who is very curious, a person who has a drive for learning, they will get it. You are lucky. I will tell you what is Bhagavatam. I will give you this Bhagavata Upadesha, advice on Bhagavata. Okay, tomorrow morning let us start. And the Bhagavata started. You know that this holy Grantha, this divine Grantha, Bhagavata Pratyaksha Krishna evahi, Krishna himself, slowly just emerged with the Shankara, and you can see the transformation of Malliyoor here. We can say that Srimad Bhagavatam remolded Malliyoor from a helpless boy to a powerful youth. He changed. The change was actually from insecurity to invincibility, from desperate to confident, from a confused traveler to a master navigator. And you see, everybody has a springboard, a turning point. Everybody's life, you get that springboard. Here Malliyoor got this springboard, and after completing his pilgrimage to Guruvayur, he came back to his house, and there his mother was ill. For some time he remained with his mother, took care of herself, and after some time mother passed away. About 4 months he took care of his mother, and mother passed away when he was about 20 years old. Yes, she had done her duty, her mission is completed. Shankaran lost his mother. To him she was the only helping hand. And she had left her son at the feet of Guruvayurappa. Now he will look after him. Srimad Bhagavatam will take care of him. It can help to cross the ocean of samsara. By this time, you know that, as I told you, transformation takes place. Malliyoor got a chance to learn Sanskrit, and he was called from Swamiyar Matham, 20-25 kilometers away. School was there, and there from eminent personalities he could learn these kavyas, alankaras, and then Tarka Shastra, Vedanta, Puranas. So in course of time he became a master. So the person who was just longing for education, now he is a well-informed, well-knowledge personality. And he came back, he got Bhagavatam now, he got his knowledge also. He came back to this Ganesha temple. As I told you, Ganesha was there hiding inside the bush, inside the forest. Just in deep meditation, Malliyoor came back and just called Ganesha. Ganesha, now please get up, because I have come with Bhagavatam. Ganesha said that, is there anything to offer me? No Naivedyam. Instead of Naivedyam, instead of Laddu and Modaka, I will recite Bhagavatam. Will it do? Yes, that's also sweet. Carry on. And Malliyoor Sankaran Namboothiri sat there in front of Lord Ganesha and started reciting Srimad Bhagavatam for years. And in fact, he placed the Salagramam at the feet of his Ganesha, and then he started reciting this Bhagavatam, days and days, months and months. And in between, he used to, offer flowers also, Pushpanjali with the Bhagavatam, a new treatment. I think Ganesha was delighted. And that is why in course of time, the Bija Ganapathy became Vaishnava Ganapathy. Even Ganesha did not know what happened to him, because he was highly immersed. As I told you that Bhagavata can do wonders here. A smiling Ganesha. Here he was slowly rising into prominence. Along with him, Malliyoor Ganesha temple was also coming up. because Malliyoor started daily puja there. Every day going there, offering flowers, little nivedya, then reading Bhagavatam. And both of them were there just enjoying those moments. People slowly started coming from here, from there, 1, 2, 3, people slowly started coming there. And they started to coming to Malliyoor also. Malliyoor started getting invitations to do saptahams, not only in Kerala, but even in other parts of the country. And here, slowly he started writing books. Just imagine a boy who was when he was 19, the person who could not attend the school till he was 19 now started writing books. And he wrote a number of essays, poems, Sanskrit poems, and his fame. Even he started rendering Bhagavatam discourses all over the country. The miracle again. You know, when you just think about Malliyoor Sankaran Namboothiri, one has to think about his nishtha. The nishtha means, you can say that, a commitment to a cause, or commitment to a belief. Once you select a belief, stick to it and do it. The result will come out naturally. That is what we call nishtha. And you can say Malliyoor lived in nishtha, or he lived for nishtha, because he never diluted his nishtas. He never compromised his lifestyle. He stood firmly in bhakti, and bhakti was his nishtha. Bhakti nishtha, we can say that. Remember one thing, even though he had a lot of ailments, he used to perform 336 Surya Namaskars every day. You cannot imagine a person who could not even gasp for breathe. He was struggling to take breath. And this person was doing Surya Namaskaram every day, 336. You can just see a big stone, Peetham, where he used to perform Surya Namaskaram every day. One more thing is there. You know, many of us, we have a practice of just doing this, this squatting in front of Lord Ganesha. In Malayalam, we call it doing 𝗕𝗲𝗃. Just by touching the ears with a crossed arm and then doing this sit-up. That is what we call 𝗕𝗲𝗃, or in Hindi we can say that something like a 𝗵𝗲𝗃. So, this type of sitting and then just getting up. This person, even though he was 80 years old, this chubby, fat person, Malliyoor became chubby like Ganesha later on time, because of Ganesha, and he himself was just transforming in way. Even though he was very thin and lean in his early days, in later life, he became a little bit chubby, little bit fat. Even this chubby, fat person was doing this squatting in front of Lord Ganesha, and we could hear the thud noise of his, this hands ankle just touching there. And at the front of Ganesha, his elbow was just touching the ground and producing a thud noise, that 208 times. I have seen many people doing this squatting just to as if they were teasing Ganesha. Oh Ganesha, go on. Why do you do it? To make me smiling? I won't smile like that. Because this is a yogic posture. You just lie down. That will reduce your belly also. You do, if you want to do 𝗵𝗃𝗃, if you want to do this 𝗕𝗲𝗃, do it properly, otherwise don't do it. And that is what Malliyoor did. Never diluted anything nishtha. Don't simply dance in front of Lord Ganesha. He had seen so many dances, including Bharatanatyam. You cannot just give anything new. Instead, if you want, that is for your benefit, do that yogic 𝗵𝗃𝗃, yogic squatting, do that 𝗕𝗲𝗃 properly. This is a simple example which I was just remembering. Even in 80 years or so, he was doing this one. And he continued his devotional practice. There was a waver never in his life. Sandhyavandanam was there, Surya Namaskaram was there, like this squatting in front of Ganesha temple, then doing this Pradakshanam, reciting Bhagavatam every day, Devi Mahatmyam, dipping into Srimad Bhagavatam for hours, then writing, reading, including newspapers and magazines and books, everything continued till his death, till his last breath. In 2011, August 2nd, he had his Vaikuntha Prapti. His death was also very peaceful. If your life is peaceful, naturally death also will be. And he performed his Sandhyavandanam one morning. It was on August 2nd. As usual, early morning he got up. He completed his Sandhyavandan, came back to his room. Then he felt something odd. He sat on a chair. There he was, just looking at the photo of the goddess of Kumaranallur. He was just looking. Then he started chanting Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. How many numbers nobody could count. But in between, while chanting, he closed his eyes and he left this world. Anayasena Maranam. You know, because he trained his body to obey. Always train your body. If you want to start a talk at 9 o'clock, start it. Body will obey. Atmosphere will obey. And in the same way, if you want to do certain things, always stick to it. Naturally, the body will obey. Here, the body was ordered to perform this. I am going to chant Narayana, be peaceful, be calm. And Malliyoor, this divine, he performed this after completing this Sandhyavandan. You know, when he left this world when he was 91 years old. And here that too chanting, because he wanted to go to the Vaikuntha. He wanted to climb the steps of Vaikuntha with the help of Narayana chanting. This Narayana Nama was there every time. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam. We can say that Bhagavata is Bhagavatam Nama Puranam. Bhagavata is a Purana. But Bhagavata is more important. We can say that Bhagavata is a Nama Purana. Idam Malliyoor Charitam Nama Puranam. Malliyoor, history of Malliyoor is also a Nama Puranam. Because throughout his life, he was just chanting Narayan, Narayan, and then he was accelerating. He was driving the world just to by. Without steering, without clutch, without accelerator. He was simply sitting there chanting Narayan, and he could drive his car peacefully. And because every time Narayana was there, even in distress, when he was sad, he started Narayan, Narayan. He was happy, he chanted Narayan, Narayan. He was doing this Pradakshanam, chanting Narayan, Narayan. He was about to eat Narayan, Narayan. Once he completed his eating, Narayan, Narayan for digestion. Because Narayana does everything. He gives food, even digestion also done by he himself. Even he was about to go to sleep, Narayan, Narayan. When he woke up, he called Narayan, Narayana. Every time, even in his free time, when he was in duties, when he was in hectic duties, he never forgot to chant his name. When somebody told him that, Malliyoor, Amma died, your wife died. He stood there silent for some time, then chanted Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. Narayana was there always just like a shock absorber, so that his mind was always peaceful. Here, this Narayana Nama was just like a friend, just like a guru, and just like a guide for him. It was his lifeline. It was his, the heartbeat. Always everything for Narayana. Narayana Param Jnanam, Narayana Param Vedi. Always everything for Narayana. In Malliyoor's minds and lips, Narayana was there. That is what we have to just emphasize. The coming generation should know that how Nama works. Nama works. It is not what to say that a decorative piece, so that going through and then chanting Narayana or to attract people, or doing this Bhagavata Mandapam, once Adhyayam or one chapter is over, one Skanda is over, Narayana, Narayana, you can chant Narayana even louder or what to say that silent. It does not make any difference. Always that reverberations, that vibration is there inside. Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. Because that vibration, that Narayana will always work like a shock absorber in between the worldly affairs and your brain. No materialism will affect you. Finally, I have to say that this is the story of Malliyoor Sankaran Namboothiri. The incredible, unbelievable, implausible story, I have to say. Today we have to remember this Mahatma Gandhi, January 30th. Albert Einstein once stated about Mahatma Gandhi that coming generation will not believe such a person existed on this earth in flesh and blood. People won't believe. Exactly the same way we have to say that the new generation will not believe that such persons existed here. They could not even imagine how a person could live like this. You know, is it not surprising? Certain things are there. 9 decades of his life, 90 years of life. You can just see the interference of God in critical junctions. Whenever he wandered, God was there in different forms, either by wind or say that in the form of certain human beings or in the form of a cow. Even that also happened. Or nature interferes. Nature interfered in his life in different forms. Otherwise, just imagine that he was written off by some doctors and Jyotishis, telling that this boy would never cross his childhood and he could live a worthy life spanning 90 years. Is it not surprising? A boy who was deprived of all types of formal education till his youthhood became an unrivaled scholar and an acclaimed writer. Is it not surprising? And remember that he was a Namboothiri person. A Namboothiri, always timid, never keeps time, no Krityanishta, and always withdrawing and inward looking. Generally these people are introverts. And Malliyoor was also a Namboothiri boy, lean, thin, fragile and shy, inward looking, introvert. But remember that later he traveled all over the country, chanting Narayan. He conducted 2,500 Bhagavata Saptahams. He discussed with eminent personalities. He got number of awards. Is it not something surprising? And he started just telling about Bhagavatam, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Devi Mahatmyam. Not only that, even he gave a speech, he wrote poems on the national savings scheme also. Is it not surprising? And this person, he became an unrivaled scholar. And this person, he saw his life, his house was in peril. It was about to fall down. At that time also, he was just thriving, struggling to collect money for making this temple. Is it not surprising? You can say that a poor man who had been relegated, who had been called worthless and powerless and useless, later became acclaimed by thousands of devotees, later be conferred number of awards. Is it not surprising? As I told you that number of awards were given to Malliyoor, like Bhagavata Hamsam is an award, it's a title given to you. Now people fondly call him Bhagavata Hamsam Sankaran Namboothiri. This Bhagavata Hamsam award, then Pundanam Puraskaram was there, then this Janmashtami Puraskaram, then Dharma Sreshta Puraskanam, even Jnanapana so many Puraskarams or awards were given. One has to remember about this Jnanapana award also. That was the last public meeting he attended to get the felicitation. Remember? Where? In Guruvayur. After 70 years ago. After 70 years of the incident, when he went to Guruvayur, he was 19 years old boy, carrying a bundle of worries on his shoulder. He just reached Guruvayur as a refugee, as a beggar. Guruvayurappan said, wait. After 70 years, he had been invited by the Guruvayur Devaswam Board and the devotees of Guruvayur. He had been invited in the Devaswam hall in front of that, flooding devotees. He had been conferred Jnanapana award. This is what we call the transformation. He does. Guruvayurappa knows how to treat a person. Wait, now are you all right? Now are you happy? Malliyoor once again said, Narayan, Narayan. What else I can say? Because Guruvayurappan declared emphatically that as long as his divine presence is there, no one is worthless. The story of Malliyoor tells us that nobody is worthless. If you are poor, just forget it. If you are fragile, don't think about it. Are you worrying about your health? Simply forget it. Because he is there. Instead of you just keeping your brain, mind, just thinking about your weakness, keep it on strengthness. If you just cannot think about me, go on chanting Narayan, 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 so that your mind, your brain will be busy with me, something with me. Keep away from the negative feelings, positive things will naturally come. Here, people generally say that the Sudama story reinvented. See, the Sudama story once again reiterated Sudama 2.0. We can say that. This is the second part of Sudama story. Exactly the same thing happened. Sudama was, requested by his wife, giving 4 fists of this rice flake, aval. Why don't you go to this Dwaraka and see Krishna? Instead here, the mother gave him 1 rupee and asked, why don't you go to Guruvayur and see him? Exactly the same way. Both of them went to the presence of Lord Krishna. Both of them did not ask for anything. Krishna sent them back. Sudama was well received and his gift was received. He ate it and then said, okay, Sudama, goodbye. We will meet somewhere if it is possible. Sudama was coming back. He was not disappointed. And in fact, he did not want anything. And Sudama got confirmation. His wife got comfort. That is the difference. Both of them wanted different things. Sudama wanted a confirmation letter from Krishna. Okay, I grant that you are my devotee. That is confirmation. Sudama came back. He was not at all immersed in any of this richness or any of this glamour of this new world. And instead, he was just doing his bhakti service. He was just doing his worship and activities as usual. He was very happy because he got confirmation from Krishna. Exactly in the same way, Malliyoor went to Guruvayur, he got confirmation. Carry on, Malliyoor, all these problems will be there. Along with you, problems will be there. And whenever there are problems, you go on chanting Narayan, I have given you this Nama. But what about my wife and children? Comfort will be there. I will send via Flipkart. They will get comfort. You don't need any of this comfort. I don't need. You want a temple to be built, okay? Okay, only nothing. And your house, I'm not thinking about it. Go back to your temple. I will be there coming. I will just sit on the lap of Lord Ganesha. Will you be happy? That is what happened. The Sudama story once again took place here in this world. You cannot say once again it happens. It happens with everyone. Because Malliyoor's story we know, but there are so many unknown stories, unknown Sudama stories are there taking place in this world. 𝗵𝗲𝗾𝗊 Bhagavati karmabandhat vimuchyade. That is what Sudama wanted, and he got it. Here the story in simple words, story of Malliyoor is also exactly the same. And here, now presently, 2 books are on the way. One in Malayalam, the Malliyoor, that Jeevitham, and his darshanam, his mission and vision. One book in Malayalam and another book in English also, Malliyoor, the charioteer of spirituality. One book is also on the way. Probably, I hope, by the end of this month, both the books will come out. Let us pray for it. And one more thing we have to think about this Smriti Mandapam. Here, now in the temple premise, a Malliyoor Smriti Mandapam, or a monument in dedication to the Malliyoor Sankaran Namboothiri, is on the way. The final blueprint of this Smriti Mandapam is also approved.
Malliyoor Bhagavatha
Hamsam, mandir, like a Bhagavatha school, then a Vedic Patashala, then here a mausoleum of the Bhagavatam and the Bhagavatam exponents, Bhagavata Bhaktas, all are there. And this Smriti Mandapam includes all these things. And let us just be the Bhaktas, let us pray for it. It is our duty to make it happen as soon as possible. So here I conclude prostrating in front of Sri Guruvayurappan. I submit these words at his feet. Sharanada tamupeta totpadajyam paratman abhayam amrutamashokam pahi mamapannamisha. May the great Lord protect all of us. Thank you. Thanks for all.